So after making that Onision video that I made, which I plan on making more responses to him in the future because, you know, I got a lot of views and, you know, doing that and leeching off of him for subscribers, something that's really going to piss him off, so I'm going to have at it. But I had a lot of good discussions in that video, and one of the users sent me to another video. It was like a music video by a guy named Boyinaband, that's his YouTube channel name, and he made a music video called Don't Stay in School. Now, I don't really agree with the whole parts of his video, but I agree with the overall message. And this will be a video response to that. Hopefully this doesn't run too long, so roll the tape.
I wasn't taught how to get a job, but I can remember dissecting a frog. I wasn't taught how to pay tax, but I know loads about Shakespeare's classics. I was never taught how to vote.
I'm pretty sure my American government teacher showed us how to vote in American government class. It was like right before the 2008 election. All you have to do is go to a voting station and you vote. It's not that hard. It's like eating. You just go in and you vote. Show them an ID, you vote, you're in, and you're out.
They devoted that time to defining isotopes. I wasn't taught how to look after my health.
I mean, I went to health class, 9th grade. It was like a 1 semester long class. We learned all about our health. And even though it's pretty obvious that we already knew what kind of foods you should and shouldn't eat, and what to do if you get sick, it was still a good refresher course. You didn't take health class? Your school didn't have health class?
But mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Never spent a lesson on current events.
I seem to remember doing current events from elementary school to middle school. I mean, in 1 year of either world or U.S. history, I also did current events. But I was graded really hard on current events in elementary school and middle school. I remember all my classmates did it. I remember every week we had to do a current event. We had a certain day that we had to present a current event. I remember reading the newspaper once a week to do a current event. So not only was I teaching other students current events, other students were teaching me current events as well.
Instead, I studied the old American West. I was never taught what laws there are. I was never taught what laws there are. Let me repeat, I was not taught the laws for the country I live in.
You didn't take American history? You didn't take American government? Let me repeat myself. You didn't take American history? You didn't take American government? You didn't take whatever history or government class that pertained to your country of origin or the country you went to school in? It's a common thread in what you're singing about, in your music video. The first two things you talked about, yeah, were relative things that you should have learned about, that should have been taught at school. But the last 3 or 4 things that you've discussed, that you've brought up, were things that I learned in school, were things that are standards in schools. So either you had a really bad school and really bad teachers, or you just didn't pay attention.
But I know how Henry VIII killed his women. Divorced, beheaded, died. Divorced, beheaded, survived. Glad that's in my head instead of financial advice.
I thought you were talking about laws. Don't you mean legal advice?
I was shown the wavelengths of different hues of light, but I was never taught my human rights. Apparently there's 30. Do you know them? I don't. Why the hell can't we both recite them by rote? I know.
I don't remember all of them, but I remember I was taught them. And just by looking at them, a lot of them are obvious.
Igneous, metamorphic, and sedimentary rocks, yet I don't know squat about trading stocks or how money works at all. Where does it come from? How does the thing that motivates the world function?
You didn't take an economics class? You didn't learn about stocks? You didn't learn about the stock market? You didn't learn about stock market history? You didn't learn about the value of money? You didn't learn about economic theories? These were all things I remember learning about. One semester, my senior year.
Not taught to budget and disperse my earnings.
Common sense tells you if you get $10, the best thing you can do with it is save it. What? You just spent the $10?
I was too busy there rehearsing cursive. Didn't learn how much it costs to raise a kid and what an affidavit is. But I spent days on what the quadratic equation is. Negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. That's insane, that's absolutely insane. They made me learn that over basic first aid.
Learned first aid in health class. Many times. Took me a while.
So how to recognize the most deadly mental disorders.
Yeah, psychology class. Yes, it was an elective, but they still offered it, and I still took it.
Or diseases with preventable causes, or how to buy a house with a mortgage if I could afford it, cause abstract maths was deemed more important than advice that would literally save thousands of lives. But it's cool, cause now I could tell you if the number of unnecessary deaths caused by that choice was prime. Never taught present-day practical medicines, but I was told what the ancient Hippocratic method is. I've got a headache, the pain is ceaseless, what should I take? Maybe try some leeches?
Yeah, the reason why they don't really teach you that in school is because it's obvious. You have a headache? Take a Tylenol. Take an aspirin. Take an ibuprofen. Take 2 tablets every 6 to 8 hours. I didn't even have to read that. I already know that because that's what I was taught from my parents and in health class.
Could we discuss domestic abuse and get the facts, or how to help my depressed friend with a mental state? No.
I seem to remember my school devoting a lot of time in assemblies about abuse, a lot of assemblies about STD education, about teen pregnancies, all of that stuff, about depression, about self-harm. I think we had at least 3 or 4 of those assemblies in the 4 years. So, yeah, we had all of that too.
But learn mental maths, because you won't have a calculator with you every day. They say it's not the kids, the parents are the problem. Then if you taught the kids to parent, that's the problem solved then. All this advice about using a condom, but not for when you actually have a kid when you want one.
Again, health class.
I'm only fluent in this language, for serious, the rest of the world speaks too. Do you think I'm an idiot?
Your school didn't offer second languages? Like, not a single one? Jeez, I feel bad for you. Either that or you're just lying.
I chose the solo over the political system, so like a typical citizen now I don't know what I'm voting on. Which policies exist or how to make them change. Mais oui, je parle un peu de français. So at 18 I was expected to elect a representative for a system I had never ever been presented with.
Government class? I seriously sound like a broken record right now.
But I won't take it. I'll tell everyone my childhood was wasted. I'll share it everywhere how I was educated, and insist these pointless things don't stay in school.
Here's the thing, I'm not going to outright disagree with all the things that he said in his video, okay? Yeah, there's a lot of subjects that we just don't need to learn, or that subjects are not applicable to us and what we're going to grow up to become. And I understand that the education system is very corrupt because they're teaching students things that they want students to learn. School boards, administrations, the state, the country. That is a big problem because there are things that we should be learning like a few of the things that you outlined that we don't learn. My issue with your video is the fact that maybe it's just me. Maybe it's me. Maybe I just went to a really good and really competitive school and you didn't, and I apologize for that. Maybe your teacher sucked, which my teachers were really good. I learned a lot in school. And I'm not just, yanking the chain of public school system. But a lot of the things you said, actually most of them, I'd say 75% of the things that you said were not taught to you, should have been taught to you because they're in the standards. Okay? Now, again, I apologize that happened to you. I apologize. I don't know where you went to school. I don't know what country you went to school in. But these were things that I was taught. And I think that it's kind of weird that you were not taught that stuff. So either you went to a really bad school and were not taught these things that I was taught, or on the other side of the spectrum, you just didn't pay attention, like I said earlier in the video. Okay? I don't think we should be advocating for kids not to go to school. I think we should be, moreover, advocating for more relevant subjects being taught and for students to not have to learn subjects that aren't applicable to where they're going to be or what place they're going to have in society. I'm not advocating for tracking, but again, a lot of the stuff is useless, okay? And that has to do with the fact that we're teaching the kids to test well. We're teaching the kids by the test, by the book, and we shouldn't be doing that. We should be teaching students how to live productive adult life or lives, and we are currently not doing that. So that's all I have. It's a very interesting music video. It brings up a lot of good points. The message is a message that I understand and I align with. It's just too much exaggeration and too much cherry picking when you don't really need to. He says that school is useless. Don't go to school. Meanwhile, he's bringing up a lot of things that are taught in schools. So that's all I have. I'm out. Peace.